happy to present you Nina Adjanin, our guest speaker. She'll give you a presentation, Extreme and Creative, Mind Without Borders.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay, great. So before we start, what I want to ask you, how was it difficult for you to write your dream? Raise your hand. It was easy, like you just write, or you needed to think about that? Okay, so how far have you tried to do something regarding your dream? Okay, so today, my goal is, I will not talk about how I climbed Everest, reached the summit, or my success. I will talk about my path, how I get there. So I think I will show you other side of coin. So one is, okay, you can look on internet and you will find more amazing stuff what people are doing around the globe. But I will show you the way, even if you are a poor college student, you can follow your dream and you can do it. So let's start. So my name is Nina Adjanin, and I'm a first-year doctoral student for instructional technology at Ohio University. I finished my master's in outdoor and rec, also in a Patton College of Education. So, like everyone here, I came with this nice bird, and that bird dropped me 36 years ago in Germany. But sad story of my life was my dad died when I was 2, and my mom, she couldn't take care about me, so family decided to take me and send me to grandma on a high mountain. It's on a high mountain in Bosnia to grow up there. So even if I grew up without normal water in a house and our restaurant was like 2 minutes walk from house, I was the most happiest child in the world. Because when you're small, you don't know for better, so you are so happy. So I walked to school every day, like 5 miles in one direction and 5 miles back. And on that walking, I was always thinking, okay, when I grow up, I want to be like Indiana Jones. I want to climb the highest peaks. I want to cross the oceans. And like families, my grandparents, they said, yeah, for sure. There is no way. So in the 90s, war came to my region in Yugoslavia. Then my family decided, because of war and everything, we will move from Bosnia to Serbia. And in one moment, from a mountain, I finished in a 2 million population big town in Belgrade. I was like, road everywhere. Oh, I miss mountain. I want to go to mountain. And finally, when I start my undergrad, I figure out, okay, if I use my finger, I can like hitchhike and I can go to mountain. I was a poor college student. Like I was on a stipend and I didn't have even equipment. Every time when I go to mountain, I borrow equipment. So I lived for a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, weekends. Let's go. So I start slowly. So when I was on one mountain, I saw far away another, what is a higher. And then I want to go there. Next time we go to another mountain to climb higher and higher. And slowly, from Serbia, I start to go in another country to climb higher mountains. And of course, my finger and my friends to borrow me all equipment, because for this type of environment, you need better equipment. Skis, jackets, harness, everything I borrowed, because that was my passion. So first serious peak was, for me, the highest peak of Europe, Mont Blanc. So, for example, on one side of my leg was 2,000 meters, another side is 2,000, and I think I'll grab like this, it's easier. So, and then, like, we needed to ride the ridge to get to the other side. It was fun, but it was scary, because I was on the rope with my partner, and I said, okay, if you fall on one side of, I need to jump on another so we can balance and try to survive. And then when you're young, when you have 24 and you're in best in your country, like climber, and you have a passion about that, they ask, do you want to go to Himalayas? And I said, yeah, of course, everyone want to go to see the highest mountains in the world. But like, I'm a college student, like there is no way I can afford that because, for example, Everest is around $55,000 per person. So I said, yeah, that's nice, but there's no way. They said, okay, you will take care about our clients. We will find money for you to go to Himalayas. And I said, sure, sign me in. So my first mountain was Manaslu. It was, I think, 28,000 feet tall. And when I get there, when I saw huge mountains around me, I said, I can do everything. I can climb every mountain on this planet. There is nothing, like, that's easy. Then I figured out and I saw big mountains, big problems. So then, okay, when I started to think what kind of problems I can get, there is a risk what you find when you go there, like a crevasse, like snow, like weather. But another bigger problem what you can find on expedition, what do you think? People. Because environment, snow, weather, I can handle with that. If it's bad weather, I will stay in my tent, drink tea, listen Beatles. But what to do with other people? Like, oh, I look some crazy guys just start to climb, so I need to go to help and save. So wherever you go, whatever you do, think about with who you are. So that's the key of success. Sometimes when you're in the base camp and you think base camp is the most safest place on the mountain, then, I'm not sure that will run. Yeah, avalanche. Then I was thinking, okay, what to do? To run, there is no way I can run from avalanche. But then, what I can do, I can grab my camera and record. In the future, I will be famous. I don't know. So we had lucky that avalanche just passed on the right side, and I get a good video, but it doesn't run. So another big problem when you go to high mountains is high altitude. That was my first time to feel that and see that, and to see how mountains shows faces of people. In a base camp, in a tent, everyone is super happy. We celebrate, we make jokes, and after a couple of weeks, you saw like he's grumpy, he's angry, he's changed. And I was asking, like, what's happening? Why? High altitude. But what is high altitude? Okay, then we have high altitude sickness. To understand better, so what's that? On here, we have oxygen in the air. We need oxygen for our brain, for our muscles, to breathe, to think. How you go higher, it's a less and less oxygen. So your brain doesn't work very well. Then you can see people start to get headache, they start to get stomach problem, but they want to reach the mountains. They see only one goal, mountain. So that's the biggest problem. For example, this. People think to climbing mountain is like a running marathon. When you cross a line, you go to take a shower, you go to have a nice meal. But on a mountain, when you reach the top, there is a long way down. You're tired. You don't have enough food. Your water bottle is freezed. Maybe storm is coming. First time when I saw dead body on a mountain, I was scared. I was like stand and I didn't know what to do. Sherpas, local people who live under mountain, he came to me and said, Nina, are you okay? And I said, I'm scared. That's dead body. What to do? And he said, you need to appreciate that body, that guy who died 35 years, and don't do the same mistake what he did. Think about that. Mountain will be all the time there, so you can go back. So you need to appreciate like every rock, every piece of this mountain. So on Everest, there is around 300 dead bodies like this. Yeah, that's me on a later when I struggle with that. Okay, I go around and reach the summit. That was my first success. And after that, they said, okay, let's do Everest. And I said, wow, that's my dream. In the same way, they found money for me because I was a guide on Everest. And it was 3 months, 92 days in a total, to be without a shower, to use pee bottle, to eat can, and to eat dry food. So Snickers, Mars, I don't want to see now. Still, I'm struggle. I was a 25-year-old when I went to Everest. But I figure out Everest, it's not top of Everest. It's the first day when I decided I want to go. The first day when I start to run that loop to prepare for Everest. It's not just go there, flag. It's all the way from down. So what I learned there, I learned how we need to appreciate other cultures. Sherpas, local people under Himalayas, they never go to the top of mountain before they don't have a blessing puja ceremony. Because they think that gods live on the top of mountains and we need to ask gods to let us go and to back safe. So we have 1 day ceremony where we celebrate, we sing, we have local monks. It's interesting to see, it's interesting to feel that spirit. So monk from monastery, he took yak butter and he put yak butter on every sharp piece of our equipment. Like we have ice axe, we have a crampons that is we put on our shoes so not slip on ice. So it was interesting to learn about other cultures. So then I figured out, okay, Everest is not just that top, it's people. It's all the way to the top. Then I started to enjoy. Actually, I was really under stress because I was took care about 18 other people. But then at night, I would like to go outside and to see stars and see how moon is actually beautiful. Like, I never saw that in Belgrade before. But then it's a hard work. Why climbing Everest or high mountains take 1 month, 2 months, 3 months? Because we are not used to it of lack of oxygen. We need to prepare our body to go up and down. Because if we go just directly to the top, we will die. Our brain doesn't register lack of oxygen, what we need. So the reason you need to spend a lot of time is to go higher, so your brain registers lack of oxygen. Then you go down, sleep lower, so you produce more red cells. So you go up, down, and only you have 1 chance to go to summit. Only 1 day windows for the summit. So every time you move, you go on one camp, then you set up a camp, then go back, up, down. It's stress, especially when you're on a dry food, sometimes when you don't have water, you need to melt water. Sometimes when you start to melt water, you need to find clean snow. Once, what happened to me, I was really thirsty and I grabbed one snow to melt on a small stove. And I was, yes, water, finally water. And I figured out there was a toilet paper. So I was like, okay, I need to go farther and walk, and I'm thirsty and I'm hungry. But you need to think, you need to do on a proper way. What I learned, and I was shocked with that area, Himalayas, they said they are covered forever and ever snow. Climate change, even there was supposed to be snow covered. No, it's melting. Climate change is here. So we need to think about that, really. I was shocked. They said 10 years ago, this glacier was all the way down. And on a corner on the right is Everest. Last year, team who climbed Lhotse, that's the highest peak on the world, they said it's dry, it was rock. So it's happening. So on the way, you start to see how nature is beautiful. I need to share with my friend all this amazing stuff, because photo from the top, You can find so cool photos on internet. So like, okay, I want to share with my friends the way to there. But it's not easy. Sometimes if you have storm, you need to work. I know you are tired. I know there is you don't feel good, your stomach is in pain. But if you let snow falling on your tent, never anyone will find you next day. Because it's just falling and covers. So every 2 hours with my partner in a tent, I just go there and take shovel of snow from, or other, I'm gone. So, but I want to climb another mountains or do another fun stuff. So yeah, that was my motivation. But sometimes weather can be nice and you need to prepare it. All the time you need to have contact with the other people. People are the key. We need to work all together. Like for this event. This is amazing. We'll not work without all amazing people who help and work together. So it's the same on a mountain. It's the same on a boat. When we cross Atlantic Ocean, we need to work. Okay, we need to pull ropes together. We need to fish. Teamwork, that's the key. But if you want to be solo player, you can do, but it's a huge risk. On the way to climb highest peak, you can see rope on the left side, and you will just pass this body and you will say, okay, what about families? Like that guy from India died 1996, and why he's still there? Because he's totally frozen, and on that altitude it's heavy to carry yourself, not to carry someone else. And also, Sherpas, local people who live under mountain, they don't want to touch that body because that body belongs to mountain. So even sad story is if you look in a Google Earth or you talk with your base camp, and if you say, I'm near yellow shoes, everyone will know where you are. So most of people died on the way down. So that's when you think about your goals, when you think about what you want to do, you need to think how you will go back. So that's the biggest problem. People just see one goal, but you need to think about consequences. What after? So many times it's happened, people just reach the summit and they sit and they say, I'm done. And then you need to talk, okay, you can do it, go one step. Because on this high altitude, it's a 10 times breathe, one step. 10 times breathe, one step. So that's big problem. So you need to think in advance. It's hard for me. I'm an emotional person. It was hard to see and to think like about families who lost people there. And then I started to ask myself why I'm doing that. And people ask me like, why you want to climb? Why? And I said, I don't know. I like to enjoy. I like to be with my partner on the rope because my partner on the rope is like my brother. We are just connected. And people who I met on the mountains, they are my best friends. So that's some special connect. And then on a long expedition, you learn about yourself. And to be honest, I climbing mountain like for 17 years. And in my pocket, I have more return from this without reaching summit than with summit. Maybe 3 times more. If I see bad weather, I will go down. But some people, they have a problem with ego. If they go to Everest, they want to have photo on the top of Everest in the office. And how they will back without that photo and say to friends, they think someone will judge. No, no one will judge you. But you need to get to that stage to understand that. Francia Steve, first woman from US, same. She died in May 22, 1998, on the way down. If you're lucky, you can maybe survive with the frostbites. Usually that's common what you can see, but also you need to recognize this stuff and try to tell to your friends, like, it's time for you to go back. You don't want to finish this. Especially for us technology people, when we are on a mountain, we need to take photos, we need to use cameras, and then like you need the fingers. And then I think, okay, I don't want a frostbite. Just return my camera in my pocket. And with statistics, yep, on way down. So in advance, guys, whatever you do, think about next day. Think about your family, that someone is always waiting for you and someone is love you. I had one big accident 2013 when that was my last long expedition. We climbed in Pakistan, one of the hardest mountains in the world. I was a part of international expedition. And base camp was the most safest place on a mountain. And one day, Taliban arrived and they killed half of my team. I don't know why. Still, I'm trying to find answers, but that was my last expedition. And until I don't have a clear mind, I don't want to back to mountain, because someone's life is in my hands. And if I don't have clear, pure mind for mountains, I don't want to climb to put someone other life in a dangerous situation. But let's talk more about life on a mountain. So you need to learn to appreciate whatever you have. So on a mountain and long expedition, food is disgusting. One reason, it's a high altitude. Another reason, it doesn't taste good. And especially in that area, to get food, it's difficult. So this guy, he preparing with the hands, spaghettis, and I was like, now if you give me that, there is no way I want to take. But in that time, that was the most tastiest food what I got. I was like, yes, give me more. So that's like how you changed. And Everest, when we finished and I saw all my 2 years of preparation, get there, go back, I was like, that was my last photo on Everest. I was looking and I said, thank you for an amazing journey. Thank you for this opportunity to meet people. Summit, it's just a rock, but all the way up, all the way down, and even here, sharing with my story with all of you, that's my Everest. Not top with the flag, that was for sponsors and for someone who paid that, but this is my Everest. After 3 months, my hair and myself, it took me a couple of days to clean my skin and to wash my hair. It was like, I want to just shave because it was so bad. But I was so impressed, like someone who want to climb Everest or go to high mountain, when he asked, oh, am I ready for a mountain? Can I go to climb Everest? I would say always the same. If you can climb Everest and don't tell anyone you reach the top, Everest is for you. And the usual people like, it's hard not to share. So the biggest impression for me was local people who live there, like other culture. That was my symmetry. Like, that's that balance of success, to meet new friends, to meet new people. Sherpas, they always smile. They appreciate whatever you give them. Like that new culture, what I experienced was amazing. So that guy, he carried all this just on a head. You don't need to go to climb Everest to go to see Nepal or Tibet. Just go there, spend time, learn, try Sherpa tea, try Dalbat. That's Everest. I remember this girl. I saw her and I said, okay, what you have? And she said, it's nothing, it's light. So I said, can I try? And she take off, I just like rolled down like a turtle. And I said, help, help. So, and she laughed like, ha ha. And she was just 8 years old. Like, but it was like big experience for me. So, thank you. Thank you to be here. So, questions. So, please.
Thank you for that wonderful sharing with us. I was curious about the 2-year preparation. Why does it take 2 years? Is it just physical or, and the financial or mentally specifically?
So high mountains you climb with your mind more than with physically. So I worked for a government in that time in Serbia. And Serbia is a flatland. So how I spent in the preparation, so I had a small chair, and in time of break I was up, down, up, down, up, down. But for 2 years it's more mentally like that. And also I was a guide, so I needed paperwork. I need also for equipment. For example, it's a $5,000. It's just a jacket and shoes forever. So it's a long procedure. And also, if you want to climb like Everest, you need to have before some high mountains. So that's like, okay, I need to go to Russia maybe, or to go to Montenegro to climb some mountains. So it's a procedure, but for the most of people, it was money to find sponsors for that.
Hi. I know that this experience transitioned to your admission into Ohio University's doctoral program. How would you say that it has contributed to your interest in distance learning and extreme environment? How do you hope to have it add to the quality of education?
Okay, so my last expedition was a research expedition close to North Pole in Svalbard. And I know most of people, they don't have a chance to go and experience that environment. But also, if everyone want to go there, that will change that environment a lot. Maybe so it's not good to have people. But still, as a researcher, I want to share, an adventurist, I want to share that environment with the students or with you all. And then I was like, okay, if I cannot take all of you to the North Pole, maybe I can bring North Pole to you. So then I was starting to think, okay, if I find experts and I find researchers, professionals in some area who work on Antarctica, who work on Everest, glaciologists or archaeologists, and record that maybe with 360, with virtual reality, and provide you to feel a little bit that experience when you turn and you look to see that beautiful, amazing environment. So that's like what I'm interested to do for my research, and I'm really willing to share later with you all stuff what I did. And yeah, maybe one day you can join me to some of my expedition.
So what is your dream now?
Oh, my dream now is to get doctoral degree and to, like I said, to share some environment with the people who doesn't have a chance to go somewhere and to learn from experts around the globe. So that's my dream, because I think the biggest problem of society is education. I think that's the reason why I decide to return to school. So I had a break like 7 years, 8, when I decide like I can do something, I can change something, I can help, especially when you travel around the globe and you see schools and you see educational system, then like, okay, maybe I can do something. So that's where I see myself.
Initially, when you realized your dream, what led to that, to discovering that? What frame of mind were you in? And then also, could you give some advice to others if they're in search of their dreams, how they would help to realize that?
So I think the only borders what exist are in our mind. That's only. So I was someone who, if you look from a side from Serbia in that time, and with family situation and everything, there is no way that will say, she can go there, she will do that, she will cross Atlantic, she will go for doctoral studies. Everyone say no. But then I said, okay, I can do it. I can do it. I can try. So even if you try, and whatever you do in your life, have a goal, have a passion. That's what led us. I know whatever, like, okay, I'm running because I want to be in a good shape. I'm doing distance learning because I want to share this amazing environment with someone else. So that's my dream. Like, don't have a border. Don't have excuse. People have excuse. I cannot. You can do it. You can. That's my, like, try. Just try and have a passion. Have a dream.
Sorry, I have one more question. Being a woman, was it an issue in any part of your process? You had to struggle more, prove yourself more?
So when you're on a mountain, everyone is equal. So if you see me with big puffy jacket, big shoes, big backpack, there is no difference. I honestly, to pee in a bottle, I practiced for a month. That was tough. But it's possible. You can handle with everything. There is some problems, like if when I went to Pakistan as a woman because of other culture, but then I just put some man hat. I dress like a man. I draw a mustache and I walk like this. So to have that kind of freedom. But you need, before ever you go, you need to learn and read about other cultures so you can somehow mitigate and learn, adapt to that. But yeah, definitely there is a difference, but you can do it. There is no excuse.
Just this quick, small question. I hope it's not a stupid question. But you mentioned there's a lot of like stopping in Mount Everest, going back down and waiting. I didn't know there was that much waiting around. So my question is, how do you guys pass the time?
So, for example, every day, if it's climbing day, you will spend around 10 hours walking because you breathe, you walk slow. It's not the same pace what you are walking around. But when it's a rest day, then you need to eat. You eat, drink it, eat, return energy. But the problem was, what I figured out is without a lack of oxygen, your brain doesn't work very well. So I tried to play Sudoku, try to like work with my mind. So what happened with me after 3 months on Everest? I went to first internet coffee shop to send email that I'm alive and everything is fine. And I forgot my username. What I use for like Gmail, I use for like years and years. I forgot, okay. So high altitude gives like consequences that burn your synapse connection in your mind. PIN code of my Visa card, no way I can remember. So I lived on a friend's money. In that time I said, okay, I'll return you later. But trying like to read, to do some exercise for your brain, that's only, and most of the time you're stressed because you don't know what weather will be tomorrow, what conditions will be tomorrow, so you are spending like working and planning for the next day. Any questions? Thank you, guys.
Thank you. That's so great to have you here.
Teamwork.